Notorious B.I.V, and this is my boy Pauly G.
Hey!
How are you? Are we blurry? Looks kind of blurry. Maybe there's junk on my lens. I don't know. Anyway, so you and I have talked about this a little bit before, but like I hate bumper stickers. Right? I do. I hate bumper stickers. Well, and I'll tell you what I hate about bumper stickers. It's like I'm driving behind someone and it's like I don't care like how many kids are in your stick figure family or whatever, right? Like I don't care. Like this is someone I don't know. And I don't know why they want to like broadcast something to like people they don't know. Now maybe like I'm making this video, right? And broadcasting to whoever, maybe. But like there's something about that bugs me. Do you have bumper stickers on your car?
No.
I
have a bumper sticker. I might have gotten rid of it by now because it sat in my trunk for so long that I thought, oh, I could put this on my car. And it was like, God loves America or God bless America. There we go. That makes more sense. But I never actually put it on my car. It just sat there for a long time.
See, and that's maybe something I could like God bless America is fairly generic.
Right.
It's something that I can like get behind.
Right.
You know, and like
you guys have a sign in front of your house that says we support the police.
Yeah,
that's kind of like a bumper sticker for your house. That's
my wife's sign. It's not mine.
Oh, okay.
I don't like the police at all.
You don't?
No, I don't. No, I mean they're all right. But they just the problem is every interaction I've ever had with the police is like they're giving me a ticket or some crap, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, I don't even want to like, if I don't have to ever see you guys ever, then that's great. Then I'm not getting a ticket and, you know, my life's good.
That makes sense.
So like
when we were in junior high and they had to, you were hiding in the bushes and they made you come out.
Yeah.
And wake your dad up in the middle of the night.
Yeah. So we were having a sleepover one night and we went for like a midnight snack run to the grocery store.
Except for we decided to be creative and wear like black overcoats and have like sticks like we were ninjas or something.
Yeah, and I think we were like hiding from like when a car would come, we'd like hide and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we would look suspicious anyway.
Which I didn't think about it that way. I just thought we're just having fun. Like the cars don't care.
And then the cops got us.
Because it turns out there were people who had been stealing cars in the area, and so they were on the lookout for suspicious-looking people. And then, here are two doofuses with like, what were you using for stabs? Like I don't even know what that was.
I don't know,
like a broomstick or something.
Like a broom handle or something. There we go.
Yeah.
Anyway, you know, when you're a kid, you always want to be a ninja and stuff.
So next thing we know, there's a spotlight on us. They're like, come on with your hands up.
Yeah, so we saw this. Well, we passed the car in a parking lot. The cop was sitting there with his lights off and everything.
Oh.
And we were like, quick, run. So we ran. And then it's like, all the lights come on. And he's like, come out. Whatever. That was fun.
Yeah.
Anyway. But no, the other thing about cops is like, you know, they just, here's the thing, here's what I think. Like cops deal with like a-holes all day long. They deal with the scum of the earth. And so it's like, so it's hard. So when they pull you over, they expect you to be like the scum of the earth. They kind of treat you like that, like a criminal.
That hasn't been my experience, but.
Okay, well, it has been mine.
But then again, I haven't been pulled over many times in my lifetime, so.
And what I'm saying is like it's hard to like deal with all that crap all the time and not like have it rub off on you.
Sure.
So like, I just don't want to really deal with someone who's like in that all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
That makes sense.
Anyway.
I guess I just try to think of the fact that they're doing a job I definitely would not want to do, and so I appreciate that.
Totally. I do appreciate it. I just don't want to deal with them at all.
Sure.
Maybe that's wrong. I don't know.
Well, you don't want to get pulled over and get a ticket, obviously, but you can.
Yeah. But the other thing too is I don't like that personality type. Like nobody likes like the hall monitor or the teacher's pet or whatever, right?
Right.
Like I just and I've never wanted to be that. Like I don't like enforcing crap on people. Like that's not my thing at all.
Right.
So like they have like a totally different mindset than I do.
It's interesting. So that's not my personality at all either. But as a junior high teacher, I have to be that way somewhat, or I will have total chaos in my classroom, right?
Yeah.
So yesterday was Lagoon Day, and I went with this other teacher friend of mine. We were assigned to be on the same bus together. I wasn't planning on being on the same bus as him, and he's in the military also. And man, I'm used to him just being super mellow and chill. We just hang out in the faculty lounge and eat lunch together. But now I'm seeing him in action with students, and he's like, whistle, and he's like, all right, everybody, and he's like, here's what's gonna happen, you guys, and I was really impressed. I was like, dang, this guy commands respect. Like, he speaks and everybody's quiet and listening. Okay. Like, I am not that good at that.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how that's not my personality, but I'm impressed when I can see somebody else who's like, oh, wow, this person's really good at their job, you know?
Yeah. And I guess you have to be that way a little bit as a parent. That's probably why I don't enjoy parenting all that much.
Well, you don't have to. I mean, you have to to a certain extent. You can't just let your kids run wild. Yeah, sure. Exactly.
But the other day, so we're at this, my kids are putting on this play, right? And like during the little scene swaps or whatever, like some music would play or whatever. Or no, maybe it was like when everyone was clapping, you know, after a scene or whatever. There were these like 3 kids that were just like really loud, and they would just keep going like a couple seconds after all the clapping, right? And this lady like comes out, one of the mothers comes over, and she's like, "Hey guys, you know, can you like not do that or whatever?" And I'm like, to me, like, I just don't care. Like, I would have been those kids. You know what I mean? Like, I totally would have been those kids when I was a kid. And I don't understand, like, why. Like, I'm still just like, oh, they can do that. Like, I don't care, right? Like, why does she care? Like, why does that woman care? Yeah. I don't understand. Like, why are there people that just want to, like, squash the fun? You know? I don't understand that. My wife's like that though, and I love my wife, so I guess it works. But anyway, I just don't understand.
I think one thing that's helpful is to realize, to take like a personality test and to see what your kind of personality is and what your strengths and weaknesses are, and to realize that there are other people who are completely different from you, and it doesn't make them wrong and you right, or vice versa. It doesn't make them right and you wrong. It just means that people are different, and they have different values, and they have different priorities and different things that they, you know, that are really important to them. Like I like structure and order, but I don't necessarily, I'm not necessarily the kind of person who feels like I have to go around and impose that on everybody else. I just like it for me personally.
Yeah.
My son is not like that at all. And it's hard living with somebody who doesn't care about, you know, like cleaning, you know, that's challenging. But then we did this personality test. I'm like, oh, you're really good at these things, you know, and I'm getting all bent out of shape about things that maybe aren't that important.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. It's good to know, so you can like try to get along with people that are completely different from you, and not see it as I'm right and you're wrong, because it's just people are different, right?
Yeah.
And it's important to have all different kinds of people, because if everybody was super lax, like we need some type A personality people to get things done, right?
Yeah. So I guess, so with bumper stickers, and it's not just bumper stickers, it's like I don't like to wear t-shirts with like someone else's thing on it. I think it's a couple things. Like, first of all, like it bugs me when people broadcast themselves to everybody else. Like, that bugs me a lot. And there are people like that who like to call attention to themselves. I like to call attention to myself sometimes, but like only in like controlled circumstances, right? Mm-hmm. Like when I choose to, then I will.
Yeah.
But I don't like to like. So we were talking about my Liar Liar Pants on Fire shirt, right? Mm-hmm. I hate that shirt. And like I wear it sometimes, and people will be like, they'll be like, "Oh, that's I love your shirt. That's funny." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." Like, because it's not my original thought, right?
Right.
And I like to be original. Like, I don't like to use other people's thoughts as like, this is me. You know what I mean?
I can totally relate. If I have a t-shirt that has something on it and it doesn't really mean anything to me,
it doesn't resonate,
then I'm just like, am I really going to wear this? I have students all the time. I'll be like, "Oh, you like the Ramones?" And they're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Your t-shirt." And they're like, "Oh, I don't even know who they are." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
Like
they wear these rock t-shirts.
Yeah,
and stuff.
I think that's pretty common that teenage girls, and maybe boys too, but I think more teenage girls will wear like bands on their shirts and they don't even know who that is.
That's interesting.
And then when they actually do, I'm like, "Oh, awesome," because that's like not the norm.
Yeah. Yeah. But so, but that bugs me too. Like people using other people's thoughts, because, like, for example, I hate when someone I'm not on Facebook, but like I'm on LinkedIn, right? So on LinkedIn, someone will just like share a quote, you know, and I'm like, okay, so what? Like like that's not your quote.
Right.
You know, and like maybe it says the person's name, but maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's just like a quote. And I'm like, okay, that's not you didn't say that. So like you could at least say
what you think about the quote.
I like this quote or something. But instead you're like, oh, look, I can post a quote. Look how smart I am. Like I hate that. I really hate that. But I also hate like people will like quote movies all the time. Like I know someone who like does this like constantly. They're quoting movies. They'll come up with like a clever movie quote to like go along with what the conversation or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like that can be funny. Like I get that, but like when you're doing that all the time, it's like, oh, movie quote, and it's like, okay, well. Great.
What do you think yourself?
You can quote movies.
Yeah. Do you have any of your own ideas?
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing about social media when you were talking about people who broadcast things, because I don't put stuff on social media very often.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, well, so is there something that's so important that I want to put it out to hundreds of people?
Right.
And most of the time, no, there's not.
Right.
Especially like
you don't want to tweet your breakfast to everybody, right?
Especially if like, well, and maybe that would be the safer thing to do, right? Because if I'm a very religious person and I have some people that follow me that are religious and some people that aren't, then do I post my religious beliefs, or did I just like ostracize a bunch of people in my comments? So then what do I post? Things that aren't important, that nobody has opinions about, like what you ate for breakfast. You can't offend anybody with that, but then like, who cares? So then I just end up not posting very much of anything.
Yeah.
Every now and then I will, but not very often.
Interesting. Maybe that's why I'm not on social media, because social media is kind of like a bumper sticker, right? It's like you're like putting stuff, you're like announcing to everyone that like, oh, I went on a trip or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And like I can see, I mean, the people that are close to me, like I'm probably gonna tell them about my trip anyway.
Right. Right.
So like I don't really feel the need to like tell everyone on social media that I went on a trip.
Then you can see the pictures though and videos and stuff. My brother John and his wife went to Scotland, and so every day they're like, "Here's more about my trip." Then the next day, here's more photos. This is day 2 of our trip. And the next day, okay, here's day 3. Here's the photos.
Yeah, and that can be cool.
Yeah.
So anyway,
but then you run into the problem of, well, everybody's lives look so awesome because the only thing they're putting on social media is like the most awesome things. And then you're like, oh, my life sucks. Everybody else's lives are fantastic. They went to Disney World. I've never even been to Disney World or whatever, you know?
Right. Yeah, and that's...
But that's not what really you're talking about. But that could be...
Well, but that's so another thing on social media. With social media, it's like, especially with girls, like they get really, like...
a lot of anxiety.
Yeah. Like
comparing themselves to everybody else.
Yeah. Or like on Instagram, everyone's taking pictures of their boobs and whatever, and you know, like, oh, I guess I don't know. Social media, yeah, it's weird. It's definitely has a weird effect on like everyone as a whole, you know?
Yeah. TikTok, I just started looking at videos on TikTok like this year. I don't know how long it's been around for.
Yeah.
But since it was so new to me, I was looking at it from an outsider's perspective. I'm like, what is going on? Every female, not every, but so many of them, when they're posting something on there, they are dressed to the nines. Their hair is done immaculately. Their makeup. And I'm just like, you all look like you spent hours grooming yourselves before you made this video. Like, what are you doing? Like, and all they're doing is like telling a joke about their kids in the living room or something, you know, like it's not like a serious video,
right?
But they want to make sure that they look perfect because they're putting themselves out there to the whole world. And I'm like, I don't know, it just seemed weird to me. I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, why don't you just look like a normal person instead of...
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know, Paul. I don't have all the answers.
It's interesting though.
It's a crazy world we live in.
I think your comment about, you know, you don't want to have somebody else's ideas on your t-shirt or on your bumper stickers, I think also goes along with you not liking the police, because you don't want to be controlled by somebody else. You want to be yourself. You don't want somebody coming around saying, hey, stop doing that, because you're like, hey, leave me alone. I think it's funny. Like, you want to be free to do what you want. You don't want to be put into a box. You don't want somebody else telling you, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to put this shirt on.
True.
You just want to live your life to be free.
Maybe it's like, I don't know, some of us are individuals and some of us are more collective, right? Some of us are like, oh, people have like stick figure families on the back of their car, so I want to too. Because...
Yeah, they see that and they're like, oh, I love that idea. I'm going to get my own bumper sticker with my stick figure family.
Right. And I don't want to be like everybody else. Like I want to be like just me, right? Whatever that is. I think you're a lot like that too, aren't you?
Yeah.
And maybe it goes with being creative too. Like we're kind of creative.
It's interesting though, because our other conversation about school, you were like, oh, dude, if you want to be popular, you got to dress like this and you got to do this and you got to like music like this, right?
Yeah.
So then you were more like, oh, I got to be like the collective to be popular.
Yeah.
Whereas maybe I didn't care as much about that.
But my end goal was like, in doing that was like once I'm in the cool crowd, then I can do whatever I want.
Right.
And no one can like make fun of me for it or whatever. I mean, they can, but like...
Right.
But like, I'm already in the cool crowd. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Not to say that I didn't care about those things, because obviously I didn't like just do whatever I wanted to. I also was very aware of like what was popular and tried to, you know, I wanted to be cool too, but...
Yeah, I mean, that's what I did. Oh my gosh, it's 20 minutes. That's it. We're done. We're done. Yeah, I don't want to go. I try to keep these to around 20 minutes just so
people will actually watch them. Instead, they're like, oh, this is too long. I don't want to watch this thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So time's up. And hopefully that was interesting to some degree. And if not, that's all right. I mean, if not, you're not even watching the video at this point, right? Like you checked out already. If you made it to this point, though,
good for you.
Congrats. Thank you for your support. Appreciate it. And we'll probably see you in the next video.
Take care.
Bye, guys. Happy summer vacation.
That's right.